North Syracuse, WSGO Oswego, W249BC Mattydale, W261AC Oswego, WTKWHD2 Bridgeport, ESPN Radio. This is the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show, presented by Amtrak.
All right, we're back. Same place. We've just changed the sign of the door. Basketball pregame show time as we're getting you ready for the season opener tonight. Syracuse and Moyne. All right, so let's just set the stage a little bit for what we're going to be doing throughout the program tonight. If you'd like to call, if you're on your way to the game, if you're thinking about the game, we just spent a lot of 2 hours, didn't talk a lot about hoops. You're into football and women's basketball. We had a lot going on in the last 2 hours on the 315. If you'd like to talk about the game, call now, call throughout the hour. 315-437-7644. We'll break it down with you tonight. Want to get the season set up, anything you'd like. Other things I didn't get to. Usually get to this in the lead up to the show. I haven't done no wrong answers for the game tonight. So coming up later on in the program, I'll just tell you what's going to happen in the game tonight. That'll really help things out. That'll keep things moving along quite nicely as we get you ready for the game tonight. Nate Champion, the head coach of Moyne, was on Orange Nation earlier today and gracious to spend some time with us on a game day talking with Steve and Paulie. We'll play back for you some of that later on in the show today to get you a little Moyne Dolphins in your life. 7th all-time meeting in the regular season between these two teams. They've played God knows how many exhibitions against each other, certainly the most famous of which being the 09 game in which Moyne won. Games officially that have counted, all-time series is Moyne 6 and Syracuse nothing. That is opposite of what it would be. It's Syracuse 6 and Moyne nothing, but you knew that. Anyway, lots to get into tonight. Like the Orange cruised in both their exhibition games, kind of sloppy starts, but the big margins. Beat Clarion 101-73, hammered Slippery Rock 99-51, just blowing out your two Division II teams. Moyne, they popped the team they played earlier. They put up 113 points, was it? 116 points on Mansfield. Take that, Mansfield. On Saturday, scored 66 in the first half and making 18 three-pointers. So both the teams have come in off some, feel-good, high-octane offensive performances so far in the season. Get you one newsy nugget. We're keeping our eye on things. This is not necessarily a surprise. Mike Waters tweeting this just a little while ago. From the JMA Dome. He put this out there less than half an hour ago from Mike. Early update from the JMA Dome. Syracuse guard Chance Westry is not in uniform tonight. He continues to ramp back after missing considerable preseason practice time with an illness. So the long wait for Westry continues. The long wait for Westry's continues. When will we see him? I don't know. Wishing him the best. It's been, if not one thing, another, right? Knees, illness, whatever this is going on, and that is out there and just kind of sitting there for now. When will he play? Next game after today is a week from tomorrow against Colgate, so not immediately around the door. Maybe that'll give Chance enough time to get back in there. We certainly saw they have a deep enough rotation to go without him in the two exhibition games. There's plenty of bodies, but everything we heard about Chance in the offseason was, you want to see this guy play. He can be a difference maker for the team. So we'll see if and when we ever get to take a peek at Chance Westry, hopefully sooner than later when it comes for the Orange. Again, he's been out with some sort of illness. We've not really been filled in on that, nor do we necessarily need to be. So hopefully he's feeling better and will be full strength and back out on the court with the Orange in no time. In other news that doesn't affect this season at all, but will be good to put a smile on your faces if and when it comes to pass, is that a week from Friday night, one, what's his name? Cyan Anthony. Cyan Anthony will be making his declaration of where he intends to play his collegiate basketball. He's going to do that at 7 o'clock next Friday, the 15th. And Jamie Shaw of On3, he's just dropped the crystal ball. He has registered the crystal ball And we all know crystal balls are very official, right up until they're not. He has just registered the crystal ball of Cayenne to Syracuse, which I think would go to everything we expect is going to happen, but we'll wait. We'll give it its moment. Is he the best recruit? It's like he's an excellent recruit, but Syracuse has gotten recruits of his ilk and ranking and whatnot before. And again, I don't go back to Pearl. Pearl's a different category. But in my memory, a recent memory of Syracuse recruiting, I do not recall as anticipated a recruit potentially to Syracuse as one Cayenne Anthony. He'd be playing here next year, but that'll be certainly a shot in the arm of excitement and recruiting and all that stuff should it come to pass in due time next Friday and then all that going forward. But that would be quite a moment. But that is a thing for another time. What we have here tonight is the opener of Red Autry Year 2. What to expect here? Very different roster from last year, right? 2 starters back, J.J. Starling and Chris Bell. Many left in the portal or to the pros when you look at Judah Mintz, who's in the G League right now. Players scattered all over. Quadir Copeland gone. Malik Brown is gone. Peter Carey is gone. Justin Taylor is gone. William Patterson, he was here, I promise. He is gone. Munir Hema is gone. Gone. Everybody's gone. But the 2 starters are back. Kyle Koff off the bench is back. And besides that, it's a lot of new. A lot of new when it comes to the program this year. Donnie Freeman, biggest recruit here by ranking since Mello, is here. Will he start tonight? He started one of the 2 exhibition games. We'll keep our eye on the starting lineup later on in the program. Maybe get that to you right before we sign off on pregame. That's usually officially in the book about 15 minutes before tip time. So we'll see if he's starting tonight. How much will fellow freshman Chapa Moore play? How much will surprise late addition 3rd freshman Peter Mastorovich get out there and play? The freshman of Serbian and French lineage. And then the transfers. Eddie Lampkin, the big get, the center out of the transfer portal. We know he's starting at the 5. Jaquan Carlos, we seem to know that he will be starting at the 1. The point guard, the transfer out of Hofstra. How much will we see out of Jair Davis out of Delaware playing one of the forward spots? Lucas Taylor out of Georgia State playing one of the guard spots. How will it all meld together into the Syracuse rotation? From the 2 exhibition games, we could not, and I don't think we were intended to learn what the rotation would be. We saw 2 starting lineups, which are likely not going to be the starting lineup. I still guess, even though this was not the lineup in 2 games, that we will see a starting 5 of Carlos, Starling, Bell, Freeman, and Lampkin. But I don't know if Red will roll out the same 5 every game. I don't know how committed he'll be to a similar rotation every game. I think he wants to play a lot of guys. I think he wants to play a tempo, and it sounds like he has a group with good chemistry and behind the scenes, altogether good juju this season, which, from everything we heard last season, was not necessarily there with last year's team. So it will be interesting to see how that all comes together today. Let's get a little bit of Red here to start off the show. We got a little bit of Red from after the Slippery Rock game, which was a little less than a week ago, of things they're still working on and what's going on. We'll kind of work in reverse. We know he's not playing now tonight. He's not dressed, but here's what Red had to say vis-a-vis Chance Westry from the other day.
Him being ready and then him getting in game shape is 2 different things. So that's a good question. I think he's starting to kind of pick up his workouts and increases his activity. So when he gets ready, we'll decide when he's ready, to full go. But he should be with the team, back with the team sometime in the next couple of days.
All right. So not tonight. There, street clothes, not warming up before the game right now, is reported by Mike Waters. Here's some Red on some of that basketball stuff, and we know where it always comes down to with a head coach at this time of the year.
The rebounding thing is still something that is a work in progress. I thought we defended a little bit better this game, of keeping people in front for the most part until the last 10 minutes of the second half. Though we made them take some contested shots, but still a lot of rebounds. And, again, they shot a ton of threes. So, our guards got to get in there and rebound a little bit more. When you shoot a lot of threes, it's going to be a lot of long rebounds.
Yes, that's a fact. J.J. Starling, huge get out of the portal last year. Started all last year, had a very nice season, but in many ways it felt like his game and Judah Mintz's game didn't necessarily go hand in glove next to each other in the backcourt. This year he'll be playing a lot next to Jaquan Carlos.
JJ is a big part of what we do. We're gonna have to get him involved a little bit more, finding his spots. And JC is a catalyst to it all. He makes everything go. I think there's no secret. JJ is a big part of our success this year.
All right, let's get into some of the newcomers to the team this year. One of them is Jair Davis. Will he start? My guess is Donnie Freeman starts at that spot in the lineup, but will be a significant depth piece as the main forward coming off the bench for Syracuse. Here is Red on Jair.
First game, both of his threes rimmed in and out. People, you don't look at that. Like his shots went in and out. That's the one thing he's improved on, and I've talked about that. He spent a lot of time, but I thought he got, a good rhythm, got some minutes. I thought he got after it, and he made some shots. He rebounded. That's the one thing he can do. He can go get it, and I think everyone, is still in spurts right now.
All right, there's one of the newcomers out of the portal. Another one is Eddie Lampkin, who actually, dare I say, made a three-pointer last game?
We work at it. If he gets an open look, I think the corner three is the best three for him. And if teams sag off, and if he's in rhythm, he'll take them. We don't want him shooting 10 a game, but that's big for us, and he works at it. The one thing about Eddie, he works on all aspects of his game, so it's not like he just decides to shoot him in a game. He works at it.
My guess is Eddie gets a one, maybe one a game. One to see if you got it. I don't know. I just can't envision Eddie just bombing away from the outside because, man, you got to get him in the block. That dude's a load. But it's going to be very intriguing to watch Lampkin play out there. Certainly has a very intriguing game, can really pass it. Has never been a shooter before, has yet to actually shoot a three-pointer in a regulation game in his career, but did make one in the exhibition game the other day. One of the other newcomers who I know can shoot it is Elijah Moore, Choppa Moore. What does Red expect from his sharp-shooting freshman?
We need it. We expect it. He was one of the best shooters in the country in high school. He's a highly efficient guy. He can make shots. He can get them off quick. And I think what was he 4 for 9 today, and I'm sure he probably could have been 6 for 9. A couple probably rolled out, but that's the type of shooter he is. So we expect that. We're going to need that spark off the bench from him.
All right, and as far as shooting in general, the Orange were bombing away from three in the last exhibition game. Part of the reason they had the wide margin of victory that they did. And Red says, don't expect that to stop.
Absolutely. This is a very, very good three-point shooting team. We practice it a lot. These guys get after it. We have the ability, we got guys that really shoot it at a high level, and there's still one guy that's still not shooting at the level that we think he can right now, and that's Lucas. But once he gets going, we that's a big part of what we do.
Lucas is Lucas Taylor, the transfer in from Georgia State, who began his career at Wake Forest, and he was about 35-ish% last year as the leading scorer for Georgia State. So it'll be very interesting to see how this extremely new team, portal, freshman, couple returners, chemistry, how's it all going to meld together? What's the rotation going to look like? Red was tossing out every possible combination of the two exhibition games. A chance for experimentation and learning. Now you got Moyne tonight. It counts. Moyne, man, pace of this game could be through the roof. Moyne likes to get out and run it a little bit, so it'll be very intriguing to see how this game goes tonight. All right, let's get our first break out of the way in our pregame coverage. Still to come, you can get your call in if you'd like to comment before the game at 315-437-7644. We'll hear from Nate Champion, the head coach of the Dolphins, and we'll get further into this game and this season. What are we expecting out of the 2024-2025 Syracuse Orange as we get closer and closer to opening tip on opening night? We'll step aside for a few. Much more to come after this on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Oh, Al McGuire, a classic sport boy. Oh, Chris Bell, 3.5. It's always hard to take the over on a Chris Bell rebound prop, CBW. Yeah, game on ACC Network Extra. I brought in an extra Roku stick with me today to make this a little bit easier at the office. Yeah, I'd like to see, as much as they're going to shoot it, I'd like to see Lampkin, Davis, and Freeman do some damage inside tonight. Lemoyne does not have size. Do all these election calls get to stop now? Like, I voted yesterday. Yeah, I'll be intrigued to see what kind of minutes Taylor gets. Cuff, I just don't know what kind of role there is for Cuff. Naheem will have a role defensively based on game flow with certain games. Like Naheem in a game like tonight. The weather's terrible tonight in Kansas City, Ryan, right? Is that a fact? I've been told I need to pay attention if there's a weather delay because that could affect the Westwood broadcast. How do you move the chat on your phone app? You need to move it? I don't know how to move it. Where do you want to move it? Isn't it just at the bottom? Yeah, in Kansas City, I think. It's somewhere it's raining. It's hidden? Have you full screened? Are you full screen on the video? If you're full screen on the video, unfull screen the video.
Right now in Syracuse, many of our neighbors, elderly and disabled, are struggling to access a new
Lockout says double tap.
even weeks without seeing another person. You can change that. Join Meals on Wheels of Syracuse and help us deliver more than just meals. Bring hope and a human connection to those who need it most. With just a few hours a week, you can make an extraordinary...
I know on mine on the phone, it usually has the video at the top and the chat below if I'm holding in a vertical fashion. I also have an Android, so I don't know how that old iPhone app looks.
Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show presented by Amtrak.
Alrighty, moving along here on a Monday. A little less than 45 minutes out from the opening tip tonight. If you'd like to chime in, we'll reopen the phone lines in a little bit at 315-437-7644. Get you ready for the opener here. Cuse, Lemoyne. Cool stuff, right? Game. They're like right over there. They're right over here. They're very close to each other. This game counts tonight. It's a real basketball game. We like that. Lemoyne's second year in D1. And, many exhibition games over the years. Real games. Syracuse has won all 6 that have counted. The most recent of those was in 2008, last time it counted. I forget the circumstance that led to that being a regular season game that year. Before that, they hadn't played a game that counted since early in the 90s, and they've been sprinkled throughout history prior to that. All right, let's get a little perspective on Lemoyne. Nate Champion is their head coach. He guided them into D1 last year, getting ready to head crosstown. Well, he's already done it. He's in the Dome now. At the time, when he was on with Stephen Pauly earlier today on Orange Nation, he was getting ready to head crosstown. Here is Nate's conversation on Orange Nation from earlier today.
So pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Lemoyne men's basketball team, Nate Champion. Opener tonight for Syracuse and Lemoyne inside the Dome. Coach, great to chat with you. College basketball season is back. You must be excited. How are you doing today?
Yeah, it's the best time of the year, right? I mean, aside from maybe March Madness, but the start of the season is always special. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, so I guess let's start with the opportunity tonight to go into the Dome and to tip this thing off against the Syracuse Orange. What does this mean to you and your program to be able to open up in the Dome like this against a quality opponent like Syracuse?
Yeah, I think anytime you can play against some of the best competition in the country, obviously Syracuse being in one of the best Power 5 conferences in the ACC, it's always a great opportunity for us, but just with both schools being in Syracuse, I think it's great for the community and always great for Lemoyne to be on a national stage as well. So really happy that we're opening up with Syracuse and excited for the game tonight.
Is this a series that you can envision being an every year thing, much like, Syracuse plays Colgate every year and Cornell every year? Can you envision Lemoyne, Syracuse every season? Would you like it to be an annual thing? Yeah,
I think it would be great. I mean, Coach Autry's been great to me, since moving back here to Syracuse, and he's been supportive of what we do. And I think one of the biggest things for us is it's great for the community and great for our school too. So anytime we can play Syracuse, I think it's a great opportunity for us to be on that stage. And of course, I think it could be something that happens every year, but we'll see.
All right, year 2 for you guys at the Division I level, and last season I thought, from the outside looking in, looked like it went very well. You finish above 500 in conference play, certainly held your own, and now you get ready for year 2. What did you learn throughout that? You were kind of thrown into the fire last year. Let's be honest. What did you learn from last year that now you can apply as season 2 tips off?
I think one of the biggest things is just you have to be ready to go every single night. Doesn't matter the opponent that's stepping on the floor. They have Division I players as well. And the other thing that I took from it was just the amount of depth that each team has at the Division I level. I think that was one of the biggest things for me was, there were a few times where guys coming off the bench were scoring in the 20s, and, we were lucky to have 7 or 8 guys that could play in the game. And, I think we recruited to that pretty well, and, hopefully we can showcase that tonight and throughout the season.
All right, let's talk about the roster if we could. And, Central New York fans will recognize several of the names on your roster. Will Amika for West Genesee, Nate Fouts from Skinny Atlas. I know Trevor Rosa on the team as well. I believe he's injured at the moment. But I guess let's start with the Section 3 stars that you got on your roster. Did it just kind of happen that way? Or did you, seek out a couple guys that you knew were really good that might be looking for new homes?
Well, we always try to, keep tabs on the local talent, and us being Division II at the time that, most of these guys were playing except for Nate Fouts and Dan Garang. I mean, both of them we had as freshmen and have developed into pretty good players. And then, Will Amika transferring from Albany, we were able to get him, and Trevor Rowe transferring from Radford. So, obviously those two were Division I players out of high school, and we were Division II. So sometimes, we weren't the top of the list for some of these guys that could play at a higher level, but now we can offer that, and you're starting to see some of the top talent come back or stay in the area.
Had your one and only exhibition game the same night that Syracuse had its second. So I don't know how much, local fans saw you guys that night, but you put up 66 first half points. in your exhibition game against Mansfield. You scored 116. For those who haven't seen you play, you guys like to get up and down the floor, score fast, play fast. Can you, I guess, speak to your style and what fans can expect to see in the Dome tonight?
Yeah, I think it's a fun style of play, just to play in, honestly. And a lot of it just has to do with sharing the ball and playing a team game. I feel like that's playing the right way. And it doesn't really matter who gets the basket at the end of the day, as long as we're getting the best shot available. And that best shot can come with 28 seconds on the shot clock, or it can come with one. But we're just trying to work the ball into spots where we feel like we can, create advantages on the offensive end, and then on the defensive end we compete and we try to rebound the best way we can. And I feel like when we do that, we give ourselves opportunities to win games. And I thought that showed last year when we had a full Division II roster, and hopefully we can show it off again this year at a little bit of a higher level.
We touched on the personnel on your roster, at least the local personnel on your roster, with Amika and Fouts and Dangarang, as you mentioned, Trevor Rowe. Who are some of the other guys that we should be keeping an eye on tonight?
Well, I think one of our key returners is O'Cypher Owens. O'Cypher was from Orlando, Florida, and went to Indian River Junior College. Came to us last year, had a really good start to the season, and he's continued to grow as an overall player, and someone that continues to buy into what we do. So I'm expecting some big things from him. And then we got a few new guys too, obviously, with graduating 6 players from last year's team and losing only one to the portal. There was, a lot of people that we had to replace, and we got some really good additions. Obviously, we spoke about the local kids, but we have 3 international students, all transfers, one from, Siena and Zek Tekken, and then 2 from UT Arlington, and Fred Zbagatskis and Dwayne Chroma. And obviously we added Robbie Carmody, who was at Notre Dame to start and then was at Mercer last year, and he's with us. So, we have some guys that have been around a little bit and know how to play college basketball. So we're hoping that pays dividends for us.
Get ready to take the floor tonight, 7 o'clock inside the Dome. What stands out to you about this Syracuse team that you're going to go up against?
I mean, they're extremely talented, and Red's done a great job with them just in recruiting to his style. Obviously, last year, inheriting a team that was mainly recruited by Coach Boeheim and others. But, I thought he did a great job last year getting that team to play together down the stretch, and obviously now with him having a year to recruit and kind of figure out what fits his style of coaching, I think he's done a great job of catering to that, and he's put a roster together that's has a lot of talent, a lot of potential, and obviously we're going to have to do our best to slow him down tonight, and hopefully we can do that.
All right, lay out the blueprint if you could, not to give away any secrets going into this game, but what's kind of the blueprint for you guys tonight, to be in it with a chance to win it in the last 10 minutes or so of this game?
Yeah, we got to score more points than the other team. No, I'm just joking with you. I think the best thing for us is going to be, how well can we take care of the basketball? Can we withstand some runs and put together some runs of our own? And if we can take care of the ball and rebound, I think we'll be okay.
All right, there he is, head coach of Lemoyne. He got a funny in there. Nate Champion, a little the old score more points to the other team. I see you, Nate. I see what you're working with. There we are. Nate Champion earlier today. Always great of these local coaches willing to come on and give some insight. Day of the game and all that is always outstanding. Of course, we'll have Red Autry's full live post-game press conference after the game. Post-game today, because of Monday Night Football, will be QSportsTalk.com, Cuse Sports Talk YouTube exclusive today. Watch it live either on our Twitch or on our YouTube platform. Our full Adrian Autry post-game press conference and your calls after today's game, of course, with our first of many post-game shows of the year. All right, phone lines are open here. Pregame, if you'd like to chime in at 315-437-7644. We continue to get you set for tonight and the season. Adrian Autry, year 2, as we come back on a pregame coverage after this here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
This is Orange Nation.
All right, what are we looking for in the game tonight, chat? What's the vibes? What do you want to see? I wonder how much zone they're going to play this year, Dan. I wonder. Like, as much crap as Naheem got last year, like, he was still very good defensively. You just don't want him to be on the court like a ton, but you can, like, McLeod, 10, 12 minutes of McLeod makes sense. Red will like that answer, Jigstad. Yeah. And it's... And Mike's voice is gone again. I think so. I think that's what we're doing. Yeah, it says so right there. I wonder, like, Red is so insistent on the idea of man. I mean, their defense was not good last year. I also wonder what kind of, like, are they even going to try to, like, kick the pace up even more this year? Now Mike wants to shoot a three-pointer. Three-pointer easier to make than a 57-yard field goal. Yeah, Jaquan could pass. Like, the question will be like, all right, how are these lower-level guys going to hold up through a full ACC season? But I like the idea of, all right, get a lower-level guy, 1 year, prove himself. But yeah, Carlos can pass the ball, is a willing passer at point guard in a way different way than we've had in a long time. There you go, T-Takes. Oh my, Berry Monkey. Why? What do I not know about all of this? Seems like fun.
Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show, presented by Amtrak.
All right, back at it here on this Monday night. Closer and closer basketball season. Man, football's still cooking. The win against Virginia Tech. Basketball's here. Oh, it's going to be a fun month here in November. We got 4 more football games to go. Let's see. Am I going to remember to count all the basketball games in November? There's this one. Then the next one, Colgate's next Tuesday. Then Youngstown State, that's 3. Then you've got the 2 down at Barclays, that's 5. Then you have Cornell, that's 6. So only 6 basketball games this month? That's still a lot. That's a lot of games. Like 10 games on the rest of the month. We've already had a football game, 11 games in the month. That's like a game every 3 days. We're just Women's basketball getting going tomorrow. Be intriguing to see. I got zero clue on the women's hoops team this year without Deasia Fair, Felicia Leggett-Jack, third year. For those that missed it, had Angelica Velas on my show a little more than an hour ago. One of the new incoming point guards on the women's basketball team this year. Check that out on the Cuse Sports Talk YouTube page. So a lot of intrigue coming up here. This just in. Mike Waters had it on the Twitter. Starting guard Derek Jones for Lemoyne is out hurt tonight. Lemoyne, like Syracuse, they got a lot of bodies here now. Obviously, the caliber of player, a lot of bodies. So expect them to go deep in their rotation tonight. They like tempo. Syracuse is like tempo. Matt Rowe's son Trevor's on Lemoyne, though I believe he's out hurt. So unfortunately, we won't get to see him play tonight. But I'm sure Matt will be there, proud papa, at the ball game tonight. We don't have the official. Do we have the official starting lineup in yet? Probably not yet. Not yet. My guess here. This is my guess. And again, I've said this a lot. Through Jim Boeheim's career, he rarely made starting lineup changes. And when he did, it was either out of necessity due to injury, or it was generally like decisively, you're not a starter anymore, now you are a starter. It wasn't, let's try this, then that, then this. It wasn't like, we started 5 different lineups in the first 10 games of the season. I'm not saying that's what Red's going to do. He didn't really do that last year. But in the 2 exhibition games, we saw him play around with starting 5s. Like Donnie Freeman didn't start the first game. Like was it Eddie Lampkin didn't start the second game. My guess is we're going to see Jaquan Carlos start at the point. J.J. Starling start at the 2. Chris Bell start at the 3. The 4 will be Donnie Freeman, and the 5 will be Eddie Lampkin. Then the thing that has thrown a lot of my thought process off about this that has really, really changed here in the last 2 months is the influx of Peter Mastorovich into the team here. From overseas. You know, we heard all summer, right? Oh, there's this mysterious Euro. Who's the mystery Euro? And then finally he got revealed in August. And now we've seen him play these 2 games. Like, he's played a lot. Like, he seems to legit be in the rotation. So I think that is interesting. I think he has a very... I don't want to glue guy-ish skill set. Like, you could put him out there and, like, he's got basketball skills. He can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble, he's big. Like, you can put him out there and it's not going to screw up things. I think he's going to be in the rotation. Jair Davis, I'm going to be intrigued to see what his role turns into being. Like an undersized power player out of a lower level. Can you be a inside power player, mid-range to the rim guy in a bigger league like the ACC? Can Lucas Taylor, the transfer in out of Georgia State, can he shoot it to the level? Because that seems to be his main role, to shoot it, to add to the outside. Will Elijah Moore be the main shooter off the bench? Obviously, Chris Bell's going to be the main shooter on this team, but who else is going to be making the outside shots? J.J. Starling. I'll say this. J.J. in the first exhibition game against Clarion. We spent all last season, and JJ will be joining me in the 315 once again weekly throughout the year once we get that up and running here sooner than later. But JJ last year, he's coming off the shoulder issues at Notre Dame. His outside shot, never looked quite right last year. Still had a hitch in it all year long, right? And it was effective to a point, and he still had a very good season, still scored a lot of points and this, that, and whatever. But just watching the first exhibition game, the shot looked smoother. The jumper looked smoother. I can easily see a world in which J.J. Starling is the team's leading scorer and a very viable outside threat this year, plus his slashing ability and the whole thing. And I think him not having Judah Mintz next to him due to styles and whatnot, I think should really open up his ball game so that way. What are we going to get from Donnie Freeman this year? You'll always have to grain of salt it, right, with the talented incoming freshman that's going to be the next whatever. Not everyone's mellow. In fact, nobody's mellow. But mellow happened here. Now we're watching his son to see if he is going to come here. Like, he's always on the brain in one way or another, which is completely unfair to everybody that follows, but at the same time, that's what it is. Penny Williams, right? he was going to be the next this, the next that, and we saw how that went for 3 years. Can Donnie Freeman, I don't want to say be mellow, but can he be like a legit good player as a freshman? He looks every inch of 6'10", 6'11". He's a big guy. He's got inside skills. He's got outside skills. Like, is he the most talented player? Is he the best player? How does he fit in with his team of veterans? I think that's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Report from Mike Waters right now. Eddie Lampkin has some tightness in his lower back and is wearing a back brace, so that'll be something to keep an eye on tonight. Chris Bell, what, if anything, has he added to his game? We know he's shortlist one of the best pure shooters in the country. You give him time and space, the ball's going in. It's quite simply that. You give him time and space, and the ball's going in. But has he added a dribble pull-up? Has he added, dare I suggest, rebounding? Has he added a little passing? What's his game going to look like this year? Or is he just going to be like an elite shooter? And I don't want to say that's it. That's very valuable. But has he added something? Like, is there a world where Bell's added a little bit and he can be Syracuse's leading scorer this year? Like, there's a world, but we'll have to see. Like, I don't know if that's the world we're occupying right now. Like Elijah Moore coming right out the chute. Can a freshman, another freshman, come in and be that guy right away? Of being a bomber off the bench that hits a decent rate from the outside. So there's so many of these questions, like Eddie Lampkin, Naheem McLeod. What's the post play going to be like? Will Syracuse get the ball inside for like legit post feeds and post baskets, run stuff in there? Will Lampkin be a point center to some extent? Will he be outside and distribute a little bit? He has passing skills. I think there's a lot of interesting questions to ask about this team. And you've got Jaquan Carlos. You have a different kind of point guard than you've had around here in a really long time. Going back to Tyler Ennis, at least style-wise, I think that may be as far as we're going back to. Like, as good as Judah Mintz was, as good as other guys were that occupied that spot at what they did, there has not been a, true pass-first distributor point guard around here probably since Ennis. I mean, Mike Benajay was playing point there for a few seasons. I mean, you look at Tyus Battle, his last year, he was essentially the point guard. Joe Girard. Like, there's been a lot of stuff going around here at the point guard where there's been good basketball players, but they haven't been, the prototypical pass-first point guard. Not that you need that, but Syracuse has that this year. What is that going to facilitate? What's that going to allow? I think there's finally there's some really intriguing questions about all that this year. And then when you add in the fact, the portal, how much was lost from last year? It is so hard to know what things are going to look like in college sports, especially college basketball these days, right? It's so new, and I think this is a big question that then affects the other things looking down the line, right? Can they make the tournament, which is the biggest question of all after have not been to the tournament now, 3 years? That it all matters, right? These early games matter. We saw last year. In Syracuse, the way the season went and the way the season ended, the Orange weren't going to make the tournament anyway. But we watched that net ranking all year, and we were trying to figure out, man, Syracuse's record feels better than what the numbers are showing it is. Apologies to Lemoyne. Syracuse has got to come out tonight and knock him around a little bit. Lemoyne's a decent team, but we saw what it means. If you can beat these early season teams by a margin, it helps you. And you got to roll up wins here in the non-conference. Can you pick off the Texas game or the Tennessee game going forward? The Orange will have chances here in the early going. But you got to take care of business early on in the season and do so decisively because, as we've seen here recently, not just with Syracuse, that stuff really matters 4 or 5 months down the line. We'll see. Looking forward to getting a glimpse at it here tonight. With that, we'll take our final break. When we come back, no wrong answers. That's what I wonder is going to happen. When we come back, we'll just tell you what's going to happen. That's easier. We'll do that next year on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
Don't miss the
Okay, what do we got? How many election calls have I gotten during the shows today? It's like 4. Leave me alone. Stole the ball. You've ruined the show, Mike.
That was what happened last
That's true. It usually does activate the phone lines. Mike missed.
Well, in my defense, the rim was like...
It was tilted at an odd angle.
Made that one.
Mike did make that one. Mike's on a word count. He's got like 8 more words left in him for the rest of the day, I think. It's like a pitch count. Well, that sentence was too long, Mike. To the showers. Mike has aged significantly in the last few days, Ryan. It's like the opposite of Benjamin Button. Instead of aging backwards, he's aging rapidly. Yes, we all did. We took turns. Benjamin snaps. That wasn't a good snap. There we go. That's a good one. Mike is a Robin Williams movie. Did I ever see that movie? I'm aware of it. I don't know if I ever saw it. And that's really what happened, Ryan, is I Jalen Hurtsed him right in the throat. I Hurtsed his throat. Yeah. Mike getting it with the short jokes. Ooh.
.7 and 100.1.
This is the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show, presented by Amtrak.
And it is the last few minutes with you before tip time tonight. Well, we normally do this before every game in the 315. But it was a very busy day today. We had football to recap and lots going on. We had lots going on today in the 315. But still, we have a game tonight, and we must tell you exactly what's going to happen.
No wrong answers.
Give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
There are no wrong answers.
What months of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant?
September.
No wrong answers.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob.
Naked grandma.
Naked, huh?
I'm like an animal.
Keep your voice down.
I'm like King Kong.
No wrong answers. Cuse, Moyne, and the 2024-2025 Syracuse men's basketball season. Let's start with tonight. Not a lot of size on the Dolphins. They got a few 6'8" and one 6'9". What does that lead me to think? It leads me to think a lot of things, and thing one is this. Donnie Freeman is a tall freaking dude. Moyne is not filled with tall freaking dudes. Give me a big opener. Big game one in the career for Donnie Freeman. Chalk him up 18 points, 9 rebounds tonight for Donnie. I think Donnie can really get it done tonight. You know who else can get it done tonight? You know who else can shoot over a bunch of a team that's not filled with really tall dudes? Chris Bell. He was letting it fly in the exhibition season. I think Chris lets it fly tonight. How about a tidy 6 threes to start the season for Bell? 6 threes and 20 points tonight for Chris. I think he's Syracuse's leading scorer tonight in the opener, knocking him down from deep in what should be an up-and-down, high-tempo game. I think J.J. Starling will thrive this year. I think J.J. Starling will be Syracuse's leading scorer this year. Not tonight, though. I think just a solid night for J.J. A solid night. 15 points for Starling tonight. Up-tempo game is what I'm expected tonight. What's good when you have an up-tempo game? How about a point guard that's zipping up and down and distributing the basketball? For all these other things to happen, someone's got to pass him the ball. Tonight, that guy will be Jaquan Carlos. I got him for double-digit assists tonight. 10 assists in the opener for Jaquan Carlos tonight in his first official game in the Syracuse uniform. Moyne won their exhibition game against Mansfield on Saturday by this score. 116-67. Moyne scored 66 points in the first half of the game. Moyne made 18 out of 38 three-point attempts. I say all this to tell you, what's Moyne's route for staying in this game tonight? High octane, shoot a ton of threes, and if you want to hang in it, you need to make a ton of threes. I think Moyne will make some threes tonight. I think they'll make a pretty good amount of threes tonight just due to volume they're taking. I don't know if their end percentage is going to end up amazing, but I got Moyne down for making 14 threes tonight. I think they're going to make some threes in the Dome tonight, get their part of the local crowd going in this game. That is going to keep it interesting for a while, but too much Syracuse in the game tonight. Too much size, too much speed, too much skill, too much athleticism. The Vegas total for this game is 151.5. In the game I just described, that's way too low. Take the over tonight. I got Cuse 92, Moyne 74. I think we're going to have an up-tempo, fun game to watch tonight in the opener. Lots of shots flying around in the Dome with Syracuse eventually pulling away in the second half, in the first of hopefully regular meetings coming up with Moyne, because this is nice. This is nice. They're from right there. Syracuse is right here. We should get together more often. As far as the season, no wrong answers. This is kind of the boring number to give, but it's kind of where I keep landing. I think Syracuse will be mid to upper mid in the ACC. I think they'll have a solid non-conference. I think they'll make it back to the tourney this year. I got them going 21-10. But amidst the 21-10, piling up enough wins of note that they can get into the tournament this year. And there we are. That's no wrong answers for tonight. I went against Moyne. And for the season, Syracuse, fingers crossed, making it back to the NCAA tournament this year. All right, here's what you got coming up tonight as we wrap up the show. Game on the radio is on TK99 and ESPN 1200. Tim Leonard and Jim Sedlin. Game on your TV. You need the ESPN app. It's on ACC Network Extra tonight. Matt Park and Eric Devendorf on the TV call. After the game, when the game is over, get back here. And by here, not the radio tonight. Monday Night Football's on the radio. CuseSportsTalk.com exclusive tonight. Cuse Sports Talk on Twitch, Cuse Sports Talk on YouTube. We're live after the game, Red post-game press conference, and your calls. With that, enjoy the game, everybody. Talk after.
This is Orange Nation.
Hi, Paulie Sibyl.